Today in this episode of our crash biology course, we are going to be talking about supporting systems in plants and animals. So join me as we deal with this in detail. Now, in plants and animals, let's start with animals first, because animals is something we can relate with because we are all animals. So now, basically, in animals, supporting system basically refers to all those structures like the bone, the cartilage, and the cuticle that is used to support the soft and delicate organs of the body. For example, the blood flows through the vein. That vein is also enclosed in the muscles, and that muscle is also supported by the bone. So that bone is what is supporting every framework. So our bones is our support system. So there are different types of support system. We have the support system. We have to talk about skeleton first. Skeleton is basically the bony framework that gives support to the body. So skeleton, we have different types of skeleton, and skeleton is not only bony, it can be anything, but it's the framework that gives support to the body. So skeleton can be hydroskeleton. So and that hydroskeleton is basically when you see all these crawling insects like earthworm. That those earthworm, they don't have skeleton. If you kill an earthworm now, you can't see bone, but they have some fluid in their body, and that is called hydroskeleton. So that fluid, it occurs in pressure. So that's when that pressure of that fluid is working against the cells and the body wall of that earthworm. It keeps it in shape. So it is just like a skeleton, but it's hydroskeleton. Then we also have our exoskeleton. Now this exoskeleton is the kind of skeleton we can see in insects, and that is why they often do what is known as ecdysis or molting. So when they molt, they are shedding off their exoskeleton, and that exoskeleton is just like the cuticle. So that exoskeleton is often made of something like chitin. Yes. So that exoskeleton, it has to be shed off at regular intervals by the insect. Then we also have finally we have the internal skeleton, or rather we have endoskeleton. Now this endoskeleton is what we have because we can't see our bone except if the person is badly injured, but you can't see your bone on normal conditions. Now that bone is your endoskeleton. Why? Because it is inside the body. Now in biology, anything that is inside they call it endo, anything that is outside they call it exo. Now in ants, in spiders, in other insects, their skeletons are outside their body, so that's why we call them endo. For earthworms, their skeletons are made up of water, of water, of fluids, so that's why we call them hydroskeleton. So for this endoskeleton, it is inside the body and it is made up of three major materials. We have cartilage, we have we have cartilage and we have skeleton. So we have differences between cartilage, but you can also read that up in your textbooks. So I assume you have biology textbook, and if you do not have biology textbook, you can also go online, you can Google, and you can also download PDFs of books. So even if you have, you can still download PDFs of biology textbooks, because now everything is getting digitized and you can always learn from digital resources. So you don't have to rely completely on your text. You can always go online. Even if your library is closed, you can always go and check everything up online. You can watch YouTube videos like this video I'm offering to you here, so just to expand your repertoire of biology. So thank you for watching, and let me encourage you to like, to share, and to subscribe, because I also need encouragement for this. So I'm kind of doing like a community service, but I love what I do. So thank you for because you are going to subscribe. So continuing where I was, so I was talking about the skeleton, right? Now this endoskeleton consists majorly of skeleton and the cartilage, right? That cartilage is what is made up is made up of our ear. Cartilage makes of this soft part of the nose. Cartilage makes of the epiglottis, the the part that makes us swallow. Cartilage makes us the inner ear too. Cartilage makes up different parts of our body, so it's made up of cartilage, and cartilage is a support system that does not harden. So but know that in children, most of their bones are cartilage in children, but then as they grow older, those cartilage fuse together to form bones. But your bone cannot turn into a cartilage, but your cartilage can turn into bones. So these bones and cartilage, if you want to know more about them, you can also check that also online, and they consist of osteocytes, chondroblasts, and so on and so forth. So those are specific when you're going deeper into biology, those are what you'll be dealing with. So but we'll not be dealing with that. Don't be afraid today. So let's move on. For skeleton, for example, in the human skeleton, let me talk about the human skeleton now. We have the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. So the axial skeleton, the axial consists of the skull and the vertebral column. column. Yes. So this axial skeleton consists of the skull and the vertebral column. Then your appendicular consists of the limb and limb girdles. Yes. So these collarbones also fall here. So it depends on which one we are talking about, whether axial or appendicular. Now for this axial, we have the skull and the vertebral column. So that is part of the axial. And then for the appendicular, we have the limbs and the limb girdle, so as the pelvic girdle and the pectoral girdle. So this pelvic girdle, it is located around the waist, and the pectoral girdle is located around the shoulder. The skull is located in the head, and then this vertebra, they line the back. So they are, whenever you see and whenever you go to your biology lab in school and you see all those structures, all those long structures that run from the back of the head of a skeleton, so that is known as, those are known as vertebra. And those vertebra, they have their different names, they have their different classifications. For example, the first 5 are the cervical vertebra, and they often involve the neck. Then the next are the thoracic vertebra, which are 12. Then the next are the lumbar vertebra, which are 5, the sacral vertebra, which are 5, and the caudal vertebra, which are 4. That makes a total of sorry, the cervical vertebra is 7. Yes, 7. 7 plus 12, that's 19. 19 plus 5, 24. 24 plus 5 again, that's 29. 29 plus 4, 33. Yes, we have 33 vertebrae. So that is for human, and for different vertebrates, they have different numbers. So a vertebrate basically is an organism that has a vertebrate, or what, a spinal cord. So that is what is not. So actually, sorry, an animal that has a spinal cord is called a notochord. So that spinal cord can also be known as a notochord. So those ones, they are called chordates. But then if the animal has a vertebrae, it's called a vertebrate. So always note that difference. So now moving on to plant structure. Let's talk about plants. Plants, they don't have much stress. They only have 3 major structures, 3 major supporting tissues. And the first one is parenchyma, the second is collenchyma, and the third is sclerenchyma. So let me write it down. This is parenchyma, Parenchyma. We have collenchyma, Collenchymma. Then we have sclerenchyma, Sclerenchyma. Now this parenchyma, they have their properties. They are often found in the growing regions, and they assist in the synthesis of food, and they assist in they involve photosynthesis. So you can just use that P for parenchyma, P for photosynthesis. And this collenchyma, they are also supporting structures. They are strengthened by cellulose, and these ones, they are often used to support young growing parts of plants, just as the shoots. Whenever you have a young plant, so it's always collenchyma that is supporting it. Then this collenchyma, they often involve the back of all these dicotyledonous plants. Now, dicotyledonous plants are the plants that have 2 seed leaves. I hope you know that. That is a very simple concept in biology. Don't forget that. Now, these ones, they are often strengthened by sclerates and fibers. So they are all those things. Whenever you cut the bark of a plant, all this bark, so those bark, they are often made up of sclerenchyma. But then the green parts of the plants that are supporting parts of all those green stems, they are made up of collenchyma. And then the parts of the leaves, they are often made up of what? Parenchyma. So I hope you know this thing. And then the parenchyma, they often look like this. They often look like all these structures, and they have their cell, their this one. So they often look like this, like this. So they always have their nucleus. Then the sclerenchyma the sclerenchyma have voids. They don't have nucleus. So they are just like empty cells, but they are majorly for structures. Then the collenchyma too, they are strengthened by deposits of cellulose. So this is just a summary of supporting systems. Thank you for watching.